Hi. Nice. So I've got a few coming in. Two, three, four. There was another couple in the weight room as well. Yeah, we've got Coral joining. Woohoo! So I want to see you type into the chat where you are and why you're here. I want to know one key specific reason why you're tuning into me today. And if you can, pop your videos on. Let us see you. I'm on my phone because my webcam has died. Hi, John. And yeah, this camera just makes me look less fuzzy. So we're going to be swapping over later to my laptop so that we can do the integration part. But I thought we'd have non-fuzzy Claire for the speaking bit, the speaking bit. So if you can, put your camera on. I'm not sure what's happened to Coral. She's not, looks like she's still joining. So into the chat, where you are in the world, and why are you here? What is the one specific reason that has brought you here, that has made you invest your time with me today? Because time's precious, right? I believe time is also an absolute illusion, but it's about how we prioritize it. And you guys are prioritizing it with me. So I'd love to know why you're here. Kate is in New Zealand wanting to create more music. Woo! I went and checked out Kate's artistry in the Mount a few weeks ago, and she's epic. Angelina's here because she loves my energy. Ooh, John's from Atlanta, and he's about to go to India to get a meditation teacher training course. Ooh. So these feel very much like actions rather than outcomes. Ronnie's from Melbourne. Want to learn about manifesting in the right way? I want to hear from you guys, and you don't have to put it in the chat right now, but maybe as it comes through during this session, I want you to be clear on why, right? Because there is no destination, there is no outcome, there's only right now. Time is an illusion, it's all right now, and it's all your energy, right? So it's sort of like if we can be clear on our truth. I'm going to let my puppy in, otherwise he's going to scratch the door for the rest of the session. Just give me 1 second. I think the cleaner might have just left. 2 seconds. You can come in, but no barking, okay? Why? Do whatever. He didn't get a walk this morning because the rain. Very upset about that, aren't you, Harry? Yes. So yeah, so everything's coming from us, and when we can get really clear about who we are and what our truth is in its essence, then we can be creating it in every moment, and it's going to manifest for us. And even then, we won't arrive at a destination because our truth is stop that. It's always going to be unfolding. Sit. It's always going to be coming from us. And so we want to be very clear about why we're here. John wants to be financially free of all his debt and how to magically erase and only see abundance. Wow, this is seriously powerful stuff, because this then starts to bring you into the present moment and how you're looking out at your world, right? Ronnie wants to be free from toxic environment, gain clients for your website designing business, and be financially free. Beautiful. I'm loving this theme, because freedom is actually our truth. Freedom is actually our essence. Divine flow is the way of the universe. We just have all of these reasons why we don't believe that, right? And why we fight against resistance. And I'm going to help you with that today. So today is this beautiful blend of strategy and energetics, which I feel I've mastered really well, and what makes me a real, powerful leader in this field, actually, because I'm helping my clients with my journey. I won't have any clients if this puppy carries on. Can you just settle down, please? Thanking you. He's teaching me about presence and love. Oh, did you hear that? I just went, yeah, I am. You know, being able to use my story and my experience and my rites of passage to help other business owners find a way that they can create abundance in a way that there is no self-sacrifice, soul sacrifice. And in that deeply loving presence, that love frequency is creating so much impact in the world just by being ourselves, right? There's something I keep saying recently, and that is that the sun doesn't choose who it's going to shine on every single day. That abundance is there for all of us. We are already free, but there's a few hidden keys to manifestation that we have to unlock. There's a few rules that we need to be abiding by. And strategically, you know, if we're going to attract abundance to us, then there's ways that we can structure our businesses in a way that the work's kind of done for us as well, and we can keep on creating. Because for me, creative authenticity, I've realized it's everything. Like Kate, I love music. I spent half of yesterday playing my cello, you know, and the other half was spent out walking. And that's what I want to be doing. I want to be doing that. I want to be helping people, but I want to be creating. And I also want what I'm putting out on social media to feel like it's in its creative authenticity as well, rather than where I used to be, which was like, oh, how can I make this make a sale? And in that, the creativity is kind of lost a little bit, right? Because we're going away from truth towards those belief systems. So I'm going to be helping you to understand how focusing on energetics can help you to create disruptive content every single day that is going to stop the scroll and engage prospective clients. Another thing that I'm really proud to say is that I don't have 10,000 followers. I don't have hundreds of likes on a post, but I've got more clients than the leaders who have 100,000 followers and hundreds of likes on their posts. You don't need a huge following to make a lot of money, right? To help people. You got to be sharing in the right way. You've got to be sharing the right things. There's a bear on my bed. And then I'm going to show you how I convert those ideal clients in under 5 days. So again, this is proven, practiced stuff. The stuff that I have been bringing through my business, we do a lot of beta testing with my clients. We bring people in on special offers, one of which I'm going to actually share after this masterclass. Another sort of innovation that we test out with you guys. And we show that they work, because I already know that they work, but then that gives other people certainty. And so these methods that I'm going to share with you, they're proven, they're tested. And I'm going to be sharing how I use magnetism and alchemy to supercharge my results. A beautiful journey I've been taking in the last 12 months is with an Egyptian past life that has been coming through and gifting me this beautiful remembering of what the body already knows, of the way of manifestation from ancient times. And it really works. So there'll be a couple of bonuses at the end that won't be in the replay. So if you're here live, you're getting a free copy of my book. If you've already got my book, I'll be sending you a different gift for being here live, for signing up, for showing up. And you'll also get to go through a ritual that I use daily. And we're going to do a bit of a breath rave as well to really feel that increase in frequency. So congratulations for being here live. It's 11:11 here in New Zealand. John's already got my book. You'll get a different gift, and you're already halfway through it. Wow, well done. So at 11:11 New Zealand time, new beginnings. Do you want to make more sales more easily? Do you want recurring revenue on automation? Are you ready for time freedom? And let me know in the comments if this resonates. More time freedom, more creative authenticity. Because we've all seen this shift in the algorithm, right? We can all see how it's very different online. And the thing is that the algorithm doesn't really shift. Harry, stop it, please. The algorithm doesn't really shift. The way he's biting me. Please, buddy, come on. Just stop it. There we go. Calm down. Good boy. The way that we use social media shifts. And so that changes the algorithm. So why has our behavior on social media changed? Because there's just so many bloody good creators out there. There's so many good mentors out there. There's so many good leaders out there. We're starting to crack it. People's content is starting to go viral, right? There's heaps of good content. So what do? We just scroll more. The other thing is that this addiction to social media is making us lose our presence. So we are addicted to our phones. We are addicted to the serotonin and dopamine that's created. And so people are looking at your bloody good content and going, that's bloody good content. But they're just scrolling over it. They're not actually engaging. And we need the engagement, because each engagement in your content is a data point for the algorithm. So it just means that we are going to have to work a hell of a lot harder to get that engagement. And this is where my personal story formula has always been a winner. If you can have an emotional hook, if you can create an emotional stir in your audience, you're going to get that engagement. I'm just going to make sure we're all on mute. Here we go. Perfect. So what's interesting is in that algorithm shift, my reach of my content went down from 10,000 people every week to 2,000 people. So my content stopped reaching 10,000 people and started reaching just 2,000 people. But my money didn't change. What I was making didn't change. And that's because my focus is actually to take people off social media. I just use social media as the original hook. And then my goal is, how fast can I get them off social media? And, you know, I think the algorithm shift for me was also a blessing in that it got me to ask that question, like, okay, what in my own strategy, what needs to change within me as well, so that I actually stand out more? So this comes into these really important key marketing points. Who are you? What's your niche? What's your message? What are you here for? What are you really here for? Because you might feel deep down right now that actually what you're sharing, it's not the stuff that's really stirring you. It's not the stuff that really moving you. There are parts of your story that you're not sharing. And that's because within you, there are blocks. There are still blocks. And that has to be a key part of your strategy, is to ask yourself how you remove these blocks. So we really want to be feeling in this algorithm change, and everything in this masterclass is going to help you today. How do I really stand out? And how do I get people off social media as fast as I can? Because there's just too many creators out there. And if you can get yourself to a point where I am, which it doesn't really matter, like sharing content for content's sake, right? That's great, right? You know, it doesn't matter if a post falls flat. If you've got a way of being off social media and still making money, it doesn't matter if you don't post for 3 days and it fucks with your algorithm. If you don't have these things, you're the driver of your money every single day. And believe me, that's going to get tiring, especially on the social media world. I was in it, wrapped up in it for a very long time. Harry, stop it. I started in network marketing. So it was all social media, you know, and it kind of burns you out. It burns you out. I'm going to have to remove this dog. Give me 1 second. It'll be the last disruption, I promise. I'm going to put him outside. 2 seconds. Harry, I love you, but you drive me nuts. Come. Ready? Good boy. Come on. Ready? Oh, come on. You're going to hate me. Oh, yeah. Oh, look at that. Bye. Even when you go, it's fine. He'll bark, but don't worry. God, it's like having a newborn baby, but with massive teeth. I've got like teeth marks in my arm. So one of the other things that's going to get us outside of the grasp of the algorithm is our frequency. Because so many clients that start with me describe the backdoor message. This is that we don't do anything in their social media in those first few days. We work on their frequency, And suddenly somebody's just dropping in their inbox saying, oh my God, like, tell me how I work with you. And there's two reasons for that. Obviously, the mirror that is coming from your frequency that is just creating the reality in your external world. But also, it is the self-connection that will make you share something that perhaps you wouldn't have done ordinarily, right? So without me even working on your content plan, working on your branding, working on those key marketing points, you just connected to something that you feel able to share. And the other thing is that when you step into a program like mine, you shift immediately in your frequency, in that it's such a deep intention to change. And that just changes everything. Everything starts to align around that intention, right? So what we want to be looking at to get outside of the grasp of the algorithm is our frequency. And I talk about the miracle frequency, right? I wrote a whole book on the miracle frequency. And to me, it's this frequency that is just consistently attracting synchronicities and miracles into your life. And some of the ones that I share in my book are wild. You know, they even surprise me. I read back and I'm like, wow, you know, how did that happen? And it's because the closer that we get to our truth, our deepest, rawest truth, the more magnetic we become. That deepest, rawest truth is the most vulnerable place within ourselves. So we can only become magnetic, step into our true magnetism, when we have the courage to get vulnerable, right? When we can let go of our fears of expressing ourselves. That is stopping you becoming radically expressed. If you're not radically expressed, if you're not standing out, if you're not sharing vulnerably, if you're not moving your audience emotionally, you're not going to get the stop of the scroll. You're not going to get the engagement. And there's no point doing anything else, right? But what my clients do is master that, and then we create a funnel behind this attraction of the ideal client. What is a funnel? A funnel basically has walls, and the walls stop your clients getting away. So when I'm talking on sales calls, I'm always like, we capture your client. And it sounds terrible, but we are actually capturing your client. We are like bringing them towards you with the content and the frequency, but then we're also making sure that they don't get away. Why don't we want them to get away? Because we want to nurture them. We want to warm them up. We want to build trust. We want to build their certainty. Because of the pace of people flowing through social media right now, scroll, 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 scroll. Number one, they probably won't even engage in your content. Number two, if they do, they might not engage in the next post, right? So you want to grab them on one post, and you want to be funneling them somewhere, right? And this is going to take you away from constantly feeling like you have to create great content, because you're going to have enough people coming within these walls that you can work on those people. Or in my method, we're working on them, you know, by automation. So there's no work at all. It's all done for you. And it gets you away from, if your social media content stops, your money stops. I've really understood the importance of this in the last 4 or 5 months. My marriage ended in October, and I've been a mess. For the first probably 2.5 months, 6 weeks, 8 weeks, something like that, I was in complete denial. And I was telling myself, you know, you're fine, you know, you can do this, you can manage these emotions, you can still work. And then there was a period that followed that I completely fell apart and I couldn't do anything. And then there was a period very recently, 40 days ago, where I actually wanted to kill myself. I hit rock bottom, and I made a conscious choice to step back from my business a little bit. And the thing is, nothing has changed in my residual income. That residual income, that passive income, it's still there. Yes, my new sales reduced a little bit, but I had something that meant that if I wasn't on social media, or if I wasn't focusing on social media, my money didn't dry up. My kids have still got meals on the table. And the funny thing that happened, though, is because I used my own awakened wealth blueprint to heal myself, Actually, in the last 40 days, my sales have doubled. My new sales have doubled. And that's because I've just gone deeper into my truth. My miracle frequency has heightened. So this way of utilizing life, utilizing your challenges, utilizing your story as a vehicle to uncover your miracle frequency and allow life to line around that it's powerful. It is what I call divine flow. So today I'm going to show you my two best converting funnels. One is completely free. The other one requires some investment. The completely free one, I've built my business to multiple six figures using it. So it works, it's powerful. My clients love it. It just requires you to constantly post content. So it doesn't get you away from that constantly posting content, which is how I discovered the second one, which takes you away from having to constantly post content and really focuses on your time freedom, your creative authenticity, scaling your reach, scaling your authority, scaling your influence, and living a more expanded experience of life. Because these are the lessons that I've learned over the last few years in business. Like, money's great. Money solved all those security fears that I have had. But what has been better is letting go of those fucking fears and starting to live in a frequency that attracts money to me, but also attracts a life that feels like it aligns to who I truly am. And that has involved a shed load of destruction as well. You know, manifestation is creation and destruction. And that's a lot of the reason why people struggle to manifest, because deep down, they just haven't done the work to let go of their fears of loss. On a primal biological level, your fear of death. We have to go there. We have to go into your deepest fears. This is the awakened blueprint. You are a blueprint of belief systems. Just imagine yourself like a circuit board, and it's all just wired up from not just the stuff from this life, which goes back to the womb, by the way, past lives. You know, realizing that my mission here as an awakened female leader, as a priestess, a goddess, a shaman, goes back to ancient Egypt. I have a soul contract. Only my experiences made me divert from it. And it's only really now that I'm understanding why, and I'm healing those fears. I call this the divine blueprint. We all have a different divine blueprint, but it's all got the same thing in common. It's not wired up with all your bullshit. So this is where we use the principles of magnetism and alchemy to supercharge your results. And we use your body as part of your business strategy to alchemize these blocks that have been holding you back from absolute truth and unapologetic expression. And from here, this is where you get that massive scale, massive impact, massive influence, massive income easily. It's where I created the Awaken Wealth Blueprint, which is 9 steps. It's from my experience of getting stuck, scaling from multiple six figures. So it includes the journey to six figures, but it also includes how I got myself out of the plateau that I'm at multiple six figures, trying to scale from there. And I guess living the consequences of success, stress, admin, busyness, a lack of time freedom. And that's where I really step deep into the frequency stuff, right? So step 1 of the Awakened Wealth Blueprint is available to you right now and absolutely free. And if you haven't got it already, I really recommend you go get it. It is my Awakened Wealth app. So it's a free app. It's available on Android or Apple. And it creates these epic results because it takes you from being in the pace of life every single day, doing the same things that create the same results, living through the same blueprint unconsciously, reacting in the same way to the same things, creating the same frequency that creates the same reality. It breaks the pattern and it drops you into these 7 neurosomatic rituals every single day. And what is very interesting is that people see massive shifts in the first 7 days when they commit. But by day 7, without support, they're usually dropping off. Because why? Because the brain is shitting itself. The brain is starting to see change and says, oh, you don't have time to sit there today. You've got to go do that instead. Even though you've got results from doing nothing, your brain says you should go and do something because this doesn't feel right, right? So the app is great. It will start to shift your frequency. You will start to see a difference. It's insane, the difference, some of the results that we get shared with us. But we need to take the next step, which is starting to go into your frequency and really what's going on the inside, you know, because magnetism is truth. And truth is true self-acceptance and true self-love. I never really used to understand this, right? And I thought that I did accept who I am. But I think that saying about personal growth, spirituality being an onion is very true. There are so many layers of skin. And so a lot of people who come to me have done a lot of spiritual work. They have done a lot of personal growth. They've made shifts. But there's layers of the onion to still peel. And that's because they've done a lot of what they can see. They have gone through a lot of what they know, whereas your gold is in the mystery of you, right? What you don't know and what you don't know that you don't know, which is where we really start to go deep. And it's actually a really beautiful, exciting, expansive journey. It's where your brand naturally steps itself into the divine blueprint and you start showing up in the way that you're here to show up, right? Which naturally has its own movement, its own abundance, because the universe suddenly stops hanging the carrot just beyond where you can reach it. Has everybody felt that? Where it's like, I can see the fucking carrot. It's the size of the, Easter bunny. And I can almost touch it. And I've got so close, but then it never lands in my lap. And then you see other people out there and it's like the carrot keeps landing in their lap, and you're like, what on earth are they doing differently? What are they doing differently? They're using the same strategies. It's working for them. Why isn't it working for me? Because it's something on the inside. It's an identity thing, ultimately. We all have an identity that comes from the blueprint. And we have to ask ourselves, is that our truth? Is that our true identity? Is that all we are here to be? Is that our divine design? Is that us when we let go of our fears? Because what we do is that we build unconsciously these walls around who we truly are, because those walls make us feel safe. And I did this with my marriage. I've realized this. True expression could not come packaged up with my marriage, because in my true expression, I was no longer the person that my husband wanted to be married to. And with my wounds, initially I was like, ouch, that really hurts. But in my truth and in my healing, it's saying, do you know what? I actually love all those parts of myself, all these different facets of myself. And I want to be more of them as well. But you have to let go of what crumbles away as the universe manifests things for you, aligns to your truth. I have clients who, it's weird how these kind of in my I don't know if you've watched my my documentary, but as we do this work, big shit happens and it can seem terrifying. Like my client lost her highest paying client. And that was like a 10K month just taken away, right? And we sat on this call and I filmed it in the documentary and I'm like, just relax. There's a divine plan here. This is all happening for you. You know that you don't have to listen to what your ego is telling you right now about the scarcity that this is going to create and how dangerous this is. You don't believe that shit anymore. What do you believe? And she relaxed, she let it go. She had the best month, way better than 10K that she'd ever had, because other opportunities came through. So everything's happening for you. And that's the thing. Without working on your fears, you're going to hold on to what you've got, because it's the walls that are keeping you safe, not allowing this true expression of you to break through and do what you're really here to do. Some of the ways that this comes up tangibly is, feeling like you're not qualified enough, feeling like you need another something to prove that you can do something. John, maybe the meditation certificate, not saying that is, but that's the kind of example I need to load this thing on. I don't feel good enough to talk about this thing. For me, this is like really vain. It was my teeth. My teeth used to send me distracted. Like I wouldn't I'd fear to smile because I hated seeing my teeth on social media. It seems crazy, right? But when I go back through certain experiences in my life where I got mocked quite a lot for my teeth, I'm still holding on to those wounds. So it's like starting to look at what the wounds were that created the insecurities, the belief systems, and removing them, because they all create an energy. Your true expression is getting squashed. Everything in your life is just a mirror to your energetic frequency. And it's like, you can ask yourself, do you want that hall of mirrors to look like the life that you really want? Do you want it to just look like a bunch of bullshit? You actually are the creator, ultimately, always. And that's ultimately my story, is going from being a victim of my circumstances, of my story, to being a conscious creator, which took going really deep into myself, right? And learning the laws of the universe, learning the rules of the universe. The universe can either work for you in terms of bringing you what you want easily and creating these magical experiences without your manipulation or force, or it can bring you a bunch of turd, right? It can be difficult because simply because you see it as difficult. And I proved this yesterday. I've signed up for an elite athlete competition because I suddenly, in my worthiness and my power, I was like, man, I'm ready for this. I can bloody win this. And then on Friday, I tore my left calf. I was like, what the? And I go to see the physio. Well, I kind of assumed I'd torn my left calf just from the feeling of it. I've done it before on the right-hand side. And of course, the physio said exactly that. Claire, you need to let go of this intention. You'd be mad. You'd be delusional to think that you can win. He said, we can put you in the race and we can get you over the line, but you need to let go of winning. I laughed in his face. I was like, you've not met me. I used a new physio because mine's on holiday. I was like, I've totally got this. This is all by divine plan. I could see this as a challenge, or I could see it as an opportunity, because my mind went straight to what I know. This elite athlete competition involves 10K of running. I've not done running for quite a long time. I've been focusing on other stuff. And my mind went straight to, well, I need to get out there and start, trekking up the miles. That's what I know. And then yesterday I was like, ooh, what about what I don't know, and what I don't know that I don't know? New opportunity to train for this in a completely different way. And also new opportunity to put some of my own skills into practice in my own energetic healing and believing myself healed, right? We've seen these miracles. We've seen this happen. We do it with our clients even. I had a client the other day whose shoulder was fixed because we worked on her heart chakra, right? So this is the opportunity for me to approach this race in a completely new and divine way, in a way that matches my divine blueprint, which is that nothing has to come by struggle and force. So I'm kind of excited that my calf is torn. I'm excited about what the universe is bringing to me. I've received the messages since the beginning of my 40 days around how important it is, how important I am, and how important my self-care is, and how I've let a lot of that go in the last 10 years of being a mum, and being in a relationship where I felt so guilty to even take a fucking nap, right? Letting the shame and the guilt go and realizing you're worthy of all of it. So this feels like a divine invitation, and you will have divine invitations in your life right now that perhaps on the surface they look packaged up like challenges. One of the beautiful things about the 7x7 method, those 7 neurosomatic rituals, is when you sit and you connect and you let the mind go and all the stories go, you suddenly come into that truth. You see things differently, you feel things differently, you feel things. You know, when I designed the 7x7 method after I lost my dog at my own hand, I killed my dog by accident in 2021, my old dog, and it broke me, right? Absolutely destroyed me. And I didn't want to feel those feelings of guilt. But that was where I forced myself to sit down and start literally meditating, moving, breathing in these little 7-minute slots 7 times a day. And it allowed these feelings to come up. And when you allow the feelings to come up, then you can use your mind to question them. Is that really your truth? Or is that coming from somewhere? Is that coming from somewhere in your past? Is that coming from something that somebody told you? Is that coming from something that you experienced? And do you want that feeling to be your truth, or do you want something different? It's this beautiful opportunity to start to see where you are broken and where you see the world as broken. And the truth is, and this is why we start with the 7x7 method, is because a morning ritual is not enough. Okay, your vibration is going to naturally slip from the harmonic state that is created in your first ritual, definitely by 3 hours time, right? 100% every single day. And that is because you are a nervous system. You are a walking nervous system. And it's programmed up with everything that you fear, everything that you're scared of, everything that might stop you staying alive, right? And we've got to think that this does not have to make any logical sense at all. After I was raped, I couldn't go in supermarkets. Tell me where the logical connection between a supermarket and being raped is. There's none at all. But something in that environment triggered the fuck out of me, and I couldn't go shopping. So we've got to think, okay, there's all these triggers and they're in the external environment because the brain is looking in every direction all the time. Your amygdala receives all this information, and it's constantly saying, am I safe? Am I not safe? You come out of your morning ritual beautifully at the top of your nervous system ladder. You're at zen, you're at peace, you feel like fucking superwoman, superman. You walk out, you're like, woo, all hail me. Wow, I feel so calm, right? You're conscious, you're in pure consciousness. But then as you start to pick up, the daily tasks of life, the kids are whirling around like whirling dervishes, the emails start to come in, you get into the to-do list, you're becoming slowly unconscious, which is where the unconscious body kicks in and starts receiving those triggers for you. And slowly, you're dropping down the nervous system ladder. You're sitting in your fight or flight. I used to drop even further down than that, and I'd be in like literally play dead, like, sitting in the corner, like, rocking, right? Because my nervous system was in such a dysregulated state. But most of us fall down to fight or flight, and we just react happily from there. We get snappy, we get reactive. We find it suddenly quite difficult to make decisions. Suddenly the email that you would have read at 9 o'clock, now at 1 o'clock, it's like, fuck, have I gone blind? I can't even read the words. What the hell? What does this person want? Why are they even in my inbox? Stress, right? We look at our social media, we're already deciding, fuck, that guy over there's like got it in for me. Oh my God, why is he commenting like that? I need to, or, oh my God, I don't even want to go into my DMs. There's not going to be anybody there. Like nobody wants my offers. Nobody wants my things. Suddenly you're just in a mess, and your frequency has plummeted. You're in all those low frequency feelings, the David Hawkins scale of emotions, fear, anger, guilt, shame, even pride is a low frequency emotion, right? So we're all into push and force instead of receive and flow. And it all comes from what we've experienced in the past. Every single experience that you've ever had just gets programmed into that circuit board, right? It's there to save you. It's there to make sure that you feel safe. But we're making our unconscious decisions from there. And it takes a lot of mastery to become aware of your triggers. it also takes a lot of like, suck it up, buttercup. That sucks that I think that too, right? You've got to get to this place where you're willing to see what you believe about yourself and you see what you believe about the world, right? Because it can suck. You can be like, oh my God. And that's what I got to after my marriage ended. I was like, oh my God, how do I not be that? Like all of that, that needs to go. That's not who I am. That's not my truth. But it created my reality. The reason I had that marriage came from me. The reason why I maintained that marriage came from my need for, like, that was my safety, my security. All comes back to me. So those of you who are in your business night right now, looking outside of yourself for the thing that's going to shift, stop. It's within you. You are the magic bullet. You are the guru. And we just need to build that mastery as part of your business strategy, and trust that everything that's coming to you is part of the business growth too, if we can get you connected back to that divine blueprint. So we want to be coming back to regulation multiple times a day so that we are basically in a harmonic resonance that is completely in coherence with the universe. The universe is this beautiful harmonic resonance, and we are connected to the universe. That flow is running through us. And as part of moving forward from step one, like I said, we start to get into the mind and the stories that it has, right? What is it telling you that is creating fears? Because those fears are creating your vibration, and your vibration is creating your reality. So what happens if you have no mind and you have no stories? You literally just have love. You have unconditional love. Unconditional love is the highest frequency, it's the strongest force on the planet. And you can either choose to be the completion of its circuit or a block to it. It's like you become this love bubble, right? I love me, I love you, I love what I see. Just imagine it. And from that loving place, you start to make aligned choices, aligned to loving you, aligned to loving the earth, instead of the choices that are made because you're just trying to avoid scarcity. You're just trying to avoid the shit that you're scared of. And in those aligned choices, you imagine, like yesterday, my kid was I've got 3 kids. They were all at daycare, school. I mean, there's a bunch of stuff I could do in my business, but I didn't feel like it. I felt like playing my cello. So I played my cello and I mastered the can at really fast speed. I felt so bloody good about it, right? It just felt so good. I had so much fun. And you want to think about the frequency that creates, but also the energy that I'll take into the next thing, right? You know, when I did sit down, I did do a bit of admin. I did it quickly. I did it in a very focused way. It all has this beautiful knock-on effect. So if you're not in that loving space, you're in your mind and your stories. And you may not necessarily know what your mind and your stories are. And in that unconsciousness, it's taking you to the actions that are just driving down your frequency and also messing with your nervous system as well. And then the messing with the nervous system is downgrading your frequency. So you might as well just not be doing anything at all, honestly. But when you're doing what you're doing with love, for love, you're raising your frequency. And then everything in your life is going to become a match. And that's why I say you don't have to do more to shift your frequency, but you have to be able to do nothing. That first step, that 7x7 method, is crucial. And how you react to that, what comes up for you in doing that, how you start to see some of your own resistance and start to see some of your own stories. Well, if I sit down and meditate for 7 minutes, I'm thinking this is going to happen. Well, where the hell do I think that from? Right? It's powerful, really powerful. When you're doing nothing as well, you're letting go of the attachment to the outcome you're seeking. And this is another really, really key part of manifestation, is to have no attachment to the outcome at all. To be in so much trust that the form of this essence of love that you feel will manifest for you in the right way at the right moment. And it could look totally different to the form that you're looking at. This is why I hate mind movies. I hate vision boards, because I think you're limiting yourself. I get the principle behind it. I get we're trying to make you feel something, feel like something is real, but you're also limiting yourself because you are operating in the scope of what you know, not what you don't know, and you don't know that you don't know, right? That's where creation is. That is where opportunity is. That is where the unlimited options, opportunities, possibilities of the quantum field are, when you allow the universe to do the heavy lifting for you. And this is where your life gets pretty exciting. This is where your life gets quite magical. The Surrender Experiment, I'm not sure if you've read that, by Michael Singer. It's a beautiful book of where he just goes with the flow of life, literally surrendering to everything. And his life goes down these magical paths, and it's just like, and I remember when I read it the first time, it challenged the fuck out of me. I was like, oh my God, but what if that was not meant to be the way? Like, what if how do you, like, I couldn't get my tiny mind, as it was back then, like 10 years ago, 7 years ago, something like that, to let go. I was scared. It challenged me. I was scared. Now I trust. I have deep trust. And having trust, letting go of attachment to outcomes, it's the hardest thing to do because you're not yet awakened to the beliefs that you have that make you attach. But when you let go, you fall into unconditional love. Whatever flows in, you go, oh yeah, torn calf, that's okay. It's here on purpose. It's an opportunity, right? It's a vibration that's totally different. It doesn't matter ultimately how things manifest if you let go of the attachment. And we've really got to say, like, why do we attach? Why do we set such importance on the things that we're wanting to manifest in the way that we're trying to manifest them? Why? It's a massive question. And it's stopping abundance coming to you. Because all of the feelings around that attachment, around that importance, around that significance is lowering your vibration. We really want to get to this place of just feeling the essence of it. And we can only do that in the pauses, in the pure consciousness, in the love bubble. And in that love bubble, in that consciousness, we can also start to see some of the stories that are blocking us, have consciousness, have conscious awareness around the blocks. Okay. So a few weeks ago, I actually lay in my bed. I woke up with distressing anxiety. Like, it was one of those mornings where, and I haven't been like this since my 20s, but in this marriage breakup, yeah, I've been gracefully challenged by my mental health, right? Because it's all happening on purpose to help me to become more of who I truly am. I've got to confront these fears. I've got to, understand myself better. And so I lay in bed and I just allowed these stories to play out for like half an hour. And I was like, what? Really? Like, just allowing myself to see them, allowing myself to hear them. Because I'd noticed coming back from an event that I went to in Bali with Monica, where I met Monica actually, that I was totally terrified to actually bring the change and transformation I felt in that weekend, which was powerful, into my life. And that's where all the stories were coming up, right? So I allowed the stories to come up. I listened to them, I heard them out, I breathed through them. And it was so beautiful because as I listened to them, as I questioned them, as I became curious instead of scared, they just went away. And it was interesting because another thing that had made me scared to bring the change and transformation into my real life here was because I'm still living with my ex-husband. And it felt like it was asking a lot of me to be that courageous, embodied, powerful leader that I'd been in that weekend, surrounded by those people, pumped up by the energy, here back at home in my real life. But I walked out into the kitchen that morning and I was met with this cold, like aggressive, situation. And it was so beautiful because in coherence, in self-love, in my love bubble, I just stopped it right there. I just stated my truth and what I needed, what I want. I don't want to have this conversation. And when the conversation didn't stop, I walked away, I shut the door. And then he followed me through that door and I went through another door and shut that door. And then he went away. And I thought to myself, wow, like I could have done this 3,000 times before. But I didn't believe in myself. I didn't believe I was worthy of that. And I was defensive too. I was defending there's nothing to defend. So it sort of like changes everything, changes your reality. No, my reality hasn't changed. I'm still living with that in the house, but everything has changed because of how I feel about it, because of how I'm looking out upon it. And Spirit gifted me this beautiful message across the weekend, which was another beautiful challenge. Spirit said, if you truly want to leave this man with ease and grace, you have to love him. And I thought, not the answer that I want to hear. It's not the easy way, right? It's not, but it's truth. Because that's unconditional love. That is looking upon somebody, even if they have hurt you or they scare you, and loving them anyway, right? Loving them in their truth as they are. And that's how we look upon life when it's challenging. Even when the bank account's empty, even when things are going on, even when things are feeling challenging, we love them anyway. We love them as they are, and it changes our frequency and it also changes our power. It changes how we respond. It changes old patterns into new patterns because keeping on repeating the old patterns just creates the same results. Changing the pattern and merging a new form of the pattern creates a new reality, right? So we can really take my example in my house to your business because that's what you're doing all day long. Without working on the blueprint, you're running the unconscious patterns that are creating the same results, creating the same reality. When we can get rid of our fear, when we can remember who we truly are and our self-worth and our power, and we can love, because a lot of what I'm realizing is that a lot of what creates our power is actually what we feel as our darkness. You know, we see this polarity of energy within all of us, the divine masculine, the divine feminine, and there's this idea that the divine feminine is just beautiful light and flow. Well, she's not. She's a storm to be reckoned with. She's a force to be reckoned with. You are too. There are parts of you that are, ultimately they're all light, but you see them as darkness because other people have received them as darkness. We've got to get into that, right? We've got to get into all of that. We're always attracting abundance. Always. We just get to choose. Are we attracting an abundance of good shit? Or are we attracting an abundance of bad shit? So I'd love to hear, is there any big breakthroughs right now? Anything coming through before we move more into the strategic side, which is around the funnels? This shift in frequency is going to attract leads to you. This shift in frequency is going to connect you to more disruptive content. You're going to start sharing stuff that you're not sharing already. We want to know how we then take those people to sales and do it in a way that does not require constant effort on your part, right? So you have the time freedom to stay in the creative authenticity. So we're going to move into funnels. I just would love to know your biggest breakthrough from the last nearly an hour we've talked about this. Man, I could talk about that stuff all day. Anybody want to share any big breakthroughs coming through? Oh my God, we've got Binka on. Hey, Binka. Angelina, consistency and energy, right? We just don't even realize that we're out of coherence. And the thing is, the lower your vibration is, the more you're bombarded by other people's energies. I had a really good reminder of this. I actually did some beautiful sound healing with Angelina a week ago because, you know, I was being bombarded by these frequencies because I was in a lower frequency. I'd got sick as well. You know, so I'm still, you know, mastering myself in lots of ways. Because the more I've noticed, the more spiritually advanced I become, the more I open my heart up as well. It's like the more I open my gifts up, the more my light shines. It's like it's more of the kind of dark shit that can see the light. So it's like learning to, you know, it's yeah, become even more self-aware and use your own tools. So check the comments. Oh, a couple of direct messages. Woo. Ronnie's been seeing 1111 and 111 in the last few weeks. Good. It's a really good sign. Really good number. And if you jump on a call with me, you'll just laugh as well about that number. So, funnels. How can we get people into our funnel who are in a position to buy or close enough to buy that we can warm them up, build their trust, and convert to a sale easily? Because I would say that a lot of people, even if you've got funnels in place, or you're using freebies, or you're using lead magnets, or you're doing things like this, you're just getting free pulls. Somebody gifted me this beautiful word the other day, free pull. The freebie seekers, they don't want to buy anything, right? They're not ready. They're not ready to invest in themselves, which is just a waste of their time and your time, right? The first key, you will know it, but maybe you will not have mastered it. Riches are in the niches. We have got to get so clear and so specific about who we want in front of us and let go of the scarcity of kind of, well, if I let them go, you know, then I'll be letting that group of people down, and then I won't be serving this beautiful skill I have, and then I'll have to take that hat off. Because again, it's all coming from us, why we don't niche down. We have to niche down, because when we sell to everyone, you're actually selling to no one. This is also important to the algorithm as well, right? If you niche, niche, depending on where you are in the world and how you pronounce it, the algorithm knows what to do with you, right? So if you get a bunch of engagement in a post, the algorithm goes, whoa, look at that. She's got engagement. She's social, keyword social. And it's gearing up, ready for the next post on the same content to then send it out even further. But then you change bloody direction and you post about something else because you need to talk to that person over there that's like, you know, in your wide, broad niche. So the algorithm just goes, oh, well, I have no idea where to send this woman's content or this man's content. So we want to work with the algorithm. We don't want to keep changing direction, changing topics. It's really hard. Again, I'm still mastering it. It comes down to knowing the result your audience is truly seeking, knowing the keywords that will turn them on. I call this the gear crunch. We all know our gear crunch. So it's thinking about when you change gear on a manual car, there's kind of like a between us, isn't it? It's not necessarily a smooth, you know? And that is where you're saying, okay, well, they're here in gear 4, but they want to be in gear 5. And then all of a sudden, you've got to change gear. There's no way that you can actually move into gear 5 without moving the gear, right? They're in that place. Something is the gear crunch. Something's happened in their life. They're feeling a certain thing. They've got their card out. They're ready to buy. They're ready for a change. They are ready for a shift. And then we need to know the journey that they're going to take with you from there to get the result. Because if we've got certainty about that, they've got certainty about that, right? So you've really got to get clear on their journey and where they are in their journey when they decide to invest in you. So the two funnels that I use, both use that strategy, really knowing the niche, really knowing the results, all this stuff about marketing that you know, right? You know this stuff. You just may not have mastered it. And the first funnel is just a basic social media, knowing that I want to get people from my content into the DMs as fast as possible. Which means I've really got to get that emotional hook. I've got to get the gear crunch, right? Because if I get the gear crunch, they're going to stop the scroll. They're going to engage. And if they engage, I can talk to them. And you wouldn't believe the resistance my clients have over talking to their ideal clients. When it comes to actually sending a DM, they are shitting themselves. They have all these stories about being the dirty, greasy salesman that comes to the front door and tries to sell you electricity. They don't want to push too hard. They don't want to come across as wrong. They don't, we've got to work on this stuff. It's the reason why you're stuck. Ultimately, a DM is just a DM. It's how you see it. It's how you feel about it. Yes, there's right ways to do it and there's wrong ways to do it, but you actually can't say the wrong thing to the right person. And if you can get them to come through the back door to you, even better, right? They're coming to you, telling you that they want to work with you. This is where personal story is key. Story is key. It is massive. It is super powerful. I also work off the principle of the 3 key C's, which is powerful content every single day, driven by my personal story, driven by my classroom of life, that leads to powerful conversations, not these bloody drip drap backwards, forwards, upside down. How are you? How's your week? It doesn't work. We need to be direct. It needs to be powerful. It needs to be heart-led. And then the 3rd C is obviously if I'm connected to me, that's the catalyst of all of it, right? Because it's going to come, everything's going to be coming from deep authenticity, deep truth. It's going to come from passion and purpose. And it's also going to come from a connection to my audience as well. Because the more deeply I become connected to myself, the more I understand you. I know what you're going through. I know what you're thinking. I know what I know what you're feeling. I'm just ahead of you, right? I know because I was you, and probably not that long ago either, right? And this is the other thing as well, coming back to self-worth, is feeling like you're not further ahead enough to guide somebody, and that's not true. And also, the more you do your inner work, the more you are going to be in a position to guide them, because the more you do your inner work, the faster the quantum leaps are going to be. I have people who jump on these things and they, maybe they've been on a sales call with me 12 months ago, and then they jump on the sales call again and I say, what's changed? And they're like, nothing. And then I think about what's changed in my life and some of my clients' lives. And I'm like, where do you think the change is going to come from? It's not going to change. Nothing's going to change if nothing changes. Okay. And things can change really fast. So, my first question is, are you posting on social media every day with a funnel in mind? Do you have a strategy to take people from contents somewhere where you can convert them? That's a really important question. Because if you don't, then your content's basically just floating out into the ether. That's just gone. There's everything on social media is temporary. You do an amazing live video or you create a whopping awesome reel. The chances of it being seen next week are slim to none, right? It's gone. Gone ski. That is the pace of social media, which is why I started a book funnel. So when I launched my book, when I published my book, I think it was when I was traveling in Mexico and I was just fucking loving it. I was like, oh my God, can I really live my life like this? Like trekking through Mexico. And at the time I was like, absolutely not, because my husband would leave me. But oh my God, can I live my life trekking through Mexico, living in the jungle, connecting to medicine temples, just deepening my shamanism, running retreats, getting into my music, playing more music, making music, dancing to music, like, whoa, it's like passion. Oh my God. And then I look back at my business, I was like, no, absolutely bloody not. I'm strapped to my bloody laptop all day long. And it wasn't at the time because I was marketing, but all of the admin that was coming with my business was huge. I actually had too much business, really, and there was no automation behind it. So social media is an active funnel. It requires you've got to drive the wheel, sharp and post, whereas a book becomes an evergreen sales asset. And the journey that we take to create your book, because it needs a bloody good hook, right? It needs to really sell a principle, a message, a theme, and it needs to sell an approach that you have that is effective. And it needs to all be backed up by, again, story. So you have the emotions involved, builds trust. The journey we take to get there also gives you a way of stepping off social media. That's going to make way more sense in a little while. So whether it's a PDF chapter that you take from writing in a collaborative book or an entire book, your book can be anywhere that you put it. And generally, the places that we put it are way less temporary. YouTube, search engine optimized. Rumble, search engine optimized. Events, some of those are search engine optimized. They're being driven by other people's marketing. Yeah, you can flick your book link into a story like super easy. You don't really have to put much thought behind it, right? So it just makes everything easier. And it gets exciting because when you have a book, you are more exciting. People are like, what's your book? You've got a book? You published a book? Wow. Yes, I'll have you on my stage. Yes, I'll have you on my podcast. It just makes you, yeah, way more interesting, right? And makes you seem like you have way more authority. And the thing is, you have authority. You do. It's just how do we put that authority out there? How do we demonstrate that leadership? How do we demonstrate that influence? Like I say, I got into book funnels because I just got to this place of truth within myself where I was like, man, I love to travel. I love being a mum. And also, like, what if something happens? What if I get sick? What if one of my kids gets sick? What if my mum gets sick and I've got to travel? Do you know, like, how the fuck do I step out of my business? How do I step out of my business? I couldn't. I was strapped to it because if I stopped, the money stopped. And I needed to change that. Freedom felt more important to me than anything else. And books are the fastest way to create time freedom, done in the right way. They're also the fastest way to build trust. The conversations I have with people who have read my book are so different to the conversations I have with people who haven't read my book. Straight away, they're like, they feel like they know me. I'm really vulnerable in that book. You know, I share a lot and that allows them to open up as well. It's just an entirely different relationship that you're creating, and it's a loving relationship too, right? It is, you write from your heart, you share your story from your heart, and it inspires your content. What we do if you write an entire book or whether you write a chapter is we create an outline first, and the outline is kind of like your brand principles that you then talk about in your content. So you'll hear me talk a lot about the creative wave of chaos. There's a whole chapter on the creative wave of chaos. So having a book creates a conversion way faster. Having a funnel creates conversions way faster. And we have measured this last year. And like I say, the average time from connection to sale was 5 days. And we did that with the book series that I've started called Leading with Light. So volume 1 came out last year, hit bestseller, Amazon bestseller straight away. We created funnels behind the books for 3 clients. We profiled that in A Baptism of Fire, my documentary, which is nearly, I think we're coming up to the final episode now. And there's this beautiful journey that happens behind the creation of the funnel because you meet yourself. You really meet yourself when you think about writing a book, when you think about sharing your story. You also meet all of those brand points, key marketing things way more easily because you're out of your logical head. Oh, well, I need to know my niche. Oh, well, I need to follow these worksheets. Well, I need to fill in this thing. And you're in your heart. You're in your heart space, and that gifts you way more clarity, way more quickly. Okay. So would you say you have a process right now that is guaranteed? Say somebody just comes across your content and becomes a sale within 5 days that you could replicate? I'm gonna put myself out there and say probably no, right? Which means that you don't have a way of making your money every month predictable because there's a billion people on social media. And this is a beautiful curse and an opportunity. It means there is always people out there that you can sell to, but you've got to know how to make that sale. You've got to know what works, right? And if you can create a baseline income, there's always opportunity to go from there. I know I have a baseline income. If I want to scale from there, I can. If my money starts to plateau, brilliant. If I need a cash injection, I've got 6 or 7 other ways to make money. Like right now, the reason why I'm doing this right now, in all honesty, is there's 2 reasons. And they're both really exciting. Number one, I want to move out of this house in 32 days' time. I want the universe to provide that situation. And I realized that, I had there's an exchange in that. And part of that exchange is something that I've been holding on to and not really putting out into the world. And it was a little message from the universe. Now is the time, Claire. It's time to put this out there. It's exciting. There are going to be people that want to be a part of it. It's a beautiful exchange. And yeah, so I know that I can do a masterclass. I know that I can reach people. But I want to be able to run my business in the confidence. I don't need to do that shit as well, right? Because it's tiring. It's a lot of admin. Yeah. You kind of want to get out of that launch to launch lifestyle, that launch to launch trap. This is also just not very scalable either. If you want to get more people, then you've got to kind of look at ads and you've got to invest money. And yeah, it's like, I don't know, if you're a creative like me, that's very much that doesn't really turn you on. The creativity turns you on, right? Not the logistics. Another amazing thing with a book is every time the way that we set up the funnel, they have to opt in to actually reach the purchase page of your book. So even if they don't buy your book, they're on your list, which means your list is growing every single day. And somebody who I really respect and follow sent an email out the other day, and he said, listen, if you've got 100 people on your list, say 20% of people will open that email, and say that's 20 people, and you've got like maybe a chance that probably one or none will buy something if you make an offer in that email, right? Just based on statistics. If you've got 100,000 people on your list, you've got the same open rate, but that means you've got 20,000 people opening your email. And then again, if you use the same figure of how many will buy from that, well, actually, you've got a bunch more people buying just based on the numbers, right? Now, people won't generally buy high ticket things through emails, which is again what we look at through the book funnel is like, okay, well, how can we use email marketing and low ticket offers to create this background income that if you was to step out of your business for 6 months, you'd still be making money, and you'd still be making money without doing anything at all, apart from driving your content wheel, which looks differently when you are using a book funnel. Like I say, we move away from constantly posting on social media to more long-standing content that packs a punch, opportunities that are exciting. And you reach more people that way, okay? So, anything coming through for anyone? Any questions? Any breakthroughs? Anything? I'm loving Ronnie taking notes. I feel like it's just soaking. I can feel her soaking everything in. That is awesome. I love it. Love it, love it, love it. Just check. I love this idea of creating a book to share my brand. I've been journaling consistently now. Oh, it's disappeared. Hang on. Journaling consistently now for 849 days in a row. Woo! Wow. I will need to set an intention and meditate on how to create a book. Well, you may not need to do that, John, because I have a very powerful and instant process that is bloody powerful. It's worked for me. It's worked for clients. And, so we're going to move into the internal alchemy right now. And for me, this Egyptian past life has been coming back through for probably a year now, sort of putting the pieces together of why I'm truly here and what my soul contract is. And it is all around awakened wealth. The idea, like I said at the start, the sun does not choose who it shines on every day, because that's the truth. Abundance is everywhere. It's equally available to all of us. But we have got to come back into divine flow. We also have to balance our masculine and feminine energy, because the beautiful divine feminine within has this inherent connection to the earth. But in this world that we've lived in for lifetimes, our masculine has had to step up right? There is this fear on both sides, divine feminine, divine masculine, that we are going to lose essential power. There is no loss in the divine mind, right? So this spiritual journey, and also coming back to a place of divine truth where your body is innately connected to the universe, your harmonic resonance is everything. We need to use this, right? So this Egyptian past life has gifted me a lot. And it's also opened up paths to different ways of working with people that have been super powerful as well. And working with people that takes away the conscious mind completely, right? So it's alchemizing these inner blocks simply by using the body. Something I know because of this intimate relationship with the sun, this solar circuit. Again, looking at polarity. The only reason we see polarity, I've got money, I've got no money, is because we project our fears of either end of the scale, right? But in divine creation, both the moon and the sun are rising. We do not have a day if we don't have both, right? There is a solar circuit. We're part of it. We're part of it, but we don't believe that. So essentially, spirit wants you to succeed. That is cosmic order. Cosmic order is balance, balance and harmony. But we're out of balance and harmony because of our fear, basically, and because of our programming, and because of the way of the world is now that has gone, oh, well, if we control everybody and make them fearful, it's way easier to keep them under control. Because the leaders have fear, which is calling in a new level of leadership. It's calling in you, the leaders of the age of Aquarius, who also believe that there is no loss in divine will. There is an abundance of everything. And we need to bloody drive up this love frequency, right? Operate from it. Be in our creativity. Do the thing that is our divine blueprint. Allow that carrot, that divine carrot that is the size of the Easter bunny, to land in your lap easily and receive it. So I want to ask you a question as we get here. As we get here, we're going to, I'm going to share with you a process that I use, which is just, has anybody felt so far like their sacral juices stirring, for want of a better word? Like, are my words stirring something in you? Are you feeling your truth? Are you feeling that creative energy? Chondarusi, yeah, right. Yes, absolutely, Ronnie says. What do you think that means? And in that creative energy, in that sacral stir, Angelina can't stay still. Love it. What happens? Where's your mind and your stories? Are you in your mind and your stories? Are you in possibility? Are you in creativity? Are you pondering about the shit you don't know and that you don't know that you don't know? Totally different, right? So we want to stir this every single day on purpose. We want to get into this place. So I'm going to show you a process that I use every single day, and it's available to you in the Quantum Leap portal. That with your download of your book, you usually get out. Can't speak. You usually get option to get a trial of. And so for you, John, I'll give you. I don't think you took the trial, so I'm going to just give you access for without you having to put your card in, basically, so you can experience the Quantum Leap portal for 7 days. And this is where you can see this ritual that I use. And then we're going to do a bit of a breath rave to finish, just a short breath rave. Okay. But I want to ask the question, like, what if in the next 4 weeks, 6 weeks max, you could be selling your high ticket offer through social media? How would that feel the next 4 weeks? I had some clients. So basically before my marriage broke down, I ran a mystery school, and 100% of people who came into my program from the mystery school shifted their income within 4 to 6 weeks. One, they were a couple, they're still with me actually. They shifted their income in about 24 hours. So they wanted to make, I think their goal was to get 30K months, and they made 10K within about 24 hours. 24 hours of our strategic call. So we did a strategic call. I told them to go and share something. They did. Boom, in came that high ticket client. So it's possible, right? It's exciting. There's a process. I've got it, but it is going to require some work on the inside. You know, my program is not just strategic. It is very much this inner work, this inner alchemy, this inner place. What if in the next 6 months you could have a book funnel in place? You could have something, you know, and in that 6 months, we're mastering your social media, we're creating the content wheel, which is getting you off social media. It's just diversifying the way that we share content so it becomes more long standing. And, you know, your link to your book funnel is omnipresent everywhere, right? Not having to post it every single day yourself. And you're capturing the leads behind it that are selling at low tickets, as well as funneling those high tickets through as well. The book funnel is not just one email sequence. It is a rabbit warren of email sequences. I hacked 35 different book funnels to create my own. And I picked the best from all of them and basically, you know, just, yeah, allowed myself to be guided. So even people who don't buy your book end up in a funnel. And I've sold my high ticket program from my abandoned cart sequence. This is powerful. What if in the next 6 months you could have that funnel in place? Starting to look at creating guaranteed income every single month. And what if in 8 months' time you could have completely cleared the blocks to what is holding you back from absolute creative authenticity and radical expression? What if in 8 months you could be that leader that you know is inside of you, that truth revealed, radically expressed? Because I get it. Like, I just got to this place where I was like, what the, like, it just felt empty to just be finding the next reel trend, finding the next trending audio, sharing because I wanted a sale instead of sharing because, just sharing because, again, the love bubble, or receiving the message from spirit that this is just what you need to put out there today, Claire, and it's really important. And not questioning in it, being in complete obedience, taking more of an inner journey than an outer one, and seeing abundance flow in from that, right? Like the last 40 days. Jumping out of a plane in the middle of January because I needed to remember why I wanted to live, committing to doing nothing in my business and only focusing on my inner healing and remembering myself, you know, restoring my faith because I'd lost it, to be honest. I was in some sort of deep argument where I was like, will you just stop throwing this shit at me because I'm not sure I can take any more of it, right? I get it. I get that I'm here for more. I get it. But this is too much. And then committing only to my frequency, to my inner health, to my self-love, to my worthiness, and seeing everything in my business grow. So that in 12 months' time, you basically have it all and you have it easily, just like my book says. A 12-month journey to expression, creative authenticity, leadership, influence, automation, recurring income. I'd like to offer you the first steps. So when somebody starts to work with me, we do look at what I call the brand rebirth. So it's like really understanding, like what needs to die and what needs to rebirth so that we're starting to put you out there in a way that really matches who you are. And this is also to do with your book too, right? So it's like your book has a proprietary message, it has a proprietary method, it's like a book hook. And I'd love to jump on a call with those of you who would like to explore those elements of their brand, the possibilities to use a book funnel, whether you're in the right position, go into a bit of more detail around it, and also give you a heads up about the offer that I'm going to be putting out on social media in the next few days, which is guided directly at creators, but there's going to be limited spaces on it. I'm just looking for, like I say, beta testers basically who are going to get it at a ridiculously low investment, which I'm really excited about. It's tied into my creative authenticity, which is a platform that I'm launching called Mayu. Kate, you're going to love this. So it is a platform that I'm going to drive traffic to it through my own podcast, where I want to be getting. I've already started the interviews. Had a beautiful interview with Niraj, the leader of Soma Breath. I don't know if you follow Soma Breath, but so just he's one of the people we've already interviewed, and it's like that interview is just wild. Really talking into leading with light, leading in this Aquarius age, how we show people how to do things differently in alternative ways using our spiritual gifts. And the meaning behind Mayu is the galactic Milky Way of the Incas. So we know from our own spiritual journey, we can't glug down heaps of personal transformation because we'll just pass out. We need to sip. We need to sip. We need to sip. So it's like, how can Mayu be the access to the resources that help you to sip your soma, help you to sip those little shifts in? So I want creators like you who are running events, have resources, have retreats, and I want to gift you basically space on the platform, conscious music. Kate's music like does something to my soul. She would have access to stream her music through Mayu, and we drive the traffic there through the podcast basically. So yeah, I'm excited about what I'm going to offer, but what I really want to do on this call is talk about these brand elements, the possibility of a book, and if they're going to work for you, I'll share a little bit more into what that offer is and how you can work with me for 12 months and have that massive scale in your income, your impact, and your influence. Just want to note right now that like people don't buy information. They've never bought information, right? They buy change, they buy transformation. So this book piece is huge. Your book creates a transformation before you've even started to work with them. And also we make people pay for your book, because if they pay once, they'll pay again. Okay. So it's like we're already getting there. We're getting their buy-in. There's an exchange. One of the rules of the universe, exchange. If you've got a freebie right now or you've got a funnel, this possibly is why it's just not working. It's an information product. Maybe there's not a hook. Maybe you're not working with the right customer or with the customer in the right place in their journey. So to book the call, I am going to pop the link into an email that's going to shoot out straight after this. So I would just encourage you to book the call, because like I say, I'm going to go out onto social media in the next few days, and I know that I will get traction on this. It's going to be really exciting, and I'd love for you to have that opportunity to invest that time with me around what I won't be offering out onto social media, and I'm really digging into the brand elements. How do we shift? How do we shift you from where you are right now? What pieces are you missing from the Awakened Wealth Blueprint? How do I move you forward? Can I help you get there faster? So for the last half an hour, we're going to do this beautiful little process. I'm just going to swap over to my laptop, and you're going to get fuzzy version of Claire for the last bit. Oh, my poor dog is barking.
Recording progress.
Where am I? Oh, there I am. There's fuzzy me. Perfect. So let me just, does anybody need a toilet break? or a drink break, now would be the time to have it, as I quickly just open up the app. Probably have a few minutes here while I scramble around. I'm gonna get my dog too, because I can't bear him barking, bless him. Sorry. Come here. You're gonna lie down now. You're gonna relax. You're gonna relax. You relax. I know you want to go behind. Go behind. There you go. There you go. There's your space. There you go. Oh, Harry. Right. Come here. You go there. That's your space. Ready? There you go. You go there. You want to go in your little spot? You go in your little spot. There you go. Good boy. Sit. Sit. Relax. Good boy. Good boy. He's like, oh my God, you left me forever. Okay. I know. We're going to go for a walk in like 20 minutes, my buddy. We've had so much rain here in New Zealand the last couple of days that your little walk schedule has been a little messed up, hasn't it? Yes. Good boy. Relax. 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 Harry, stop. So, everybody back. No, Ronnie's not back. Monica's not back. Monica's back. So Harry isn't even 5 months old yet. He's the size of a small horse. He is a Briard, a French sheepdog. He has a very big personality, requires lots of love, 24 hours of every day. And I do love him. So I'm going to give a little intro to this as we've got people coming back. So what we all have within us is life force energy. And what we're doing, and what the Egyptians used to do as well, they used to use sex, sacred, sexual, ancient rites to and rituals to charge this energy up. And as you can move this energy around your body, this is where we're doing some of that unconscious healing work. We're actually balancing those chakras. The ancient Egyptians worked with 13 chakras. So when we're doing a lot of this traditional healing work that I know is, you know, coming back to quite a way back in time, we're not working with all the parts of the body that are innately connected to the universe. We're missing pieces. So we can't create this harmonic resonance because it's like a piano that's missing the black keys. You're just going along the white keys, not creating the harmonic sound.
Okay.
So what we start to do is unconsciously move this energy through our body and charge the energy up. Increase our frequency to this love bubble, right? You cannot help when you charge this energy up to just feel like you're floating off the ground. You don't care that the kitchen's a mess out there, or that you're living in a house with, you know, your ex-husband, or you've still got that bill to pay or whatever. It's just like you're just floating away. So there's so many ways that this works on an unconscious level to just shift your frequency. Now, when you don't want to use this is when you have a very dysregulated nervous system, because that is where you're going to find yourself, where a lot of people who come to me for breath work have found themselves in the past using holotropic breath work, using the Wim Hof method, and it makes them anxious or makes them want to pass out. We're using a faster breath rhythm. If you feel uncomfortable, all I'm going to ask you to do is to go to a beautiful parasympathetic 4x8 breath, which is in for 4, out for 8. Just sort of fall into your own rhythm, in through the nose, out through the mouth. We don't want to make you feel uncomfortable with this. It's not doing its work. But if you've done, a lot of breath work, if you've done a lot of healing of your nervous system, you should be fine. And this is a good way to gauge too, right? Because again, when people come to me and we do this inner work and outer work, this strategy and energy work, we're gauging like, where is your nervous system at? Most people don't realize how dysregulated their nervous system actually is. And we gauge that straight away when we do a full breathwork journey in the breath retention. If you can't hold your breath for more than 10 seconds or 30 seconds, your nervous system's fucked. And the interesting thing is that it can go from fucked to unfucked and back to fucked again quite regularly as well, right? So what I've noticed, through this journey of healing from my marriage is I used to be holding my breath 3.5 minutes, 4 minutes in these journeys, and it really pulled back. And I was like, well, it's because your cortisol's high, you're stressed, you're reacting, it's going to move. We want to be able to see where it's dysregulated and just give that little, nudge to heal. So at any point you feel uncomfortable during this, what I call sex magic morning flow, just pull back to a 4x8, in for 4, out for 8. You just take your own rhythm. We are going to start. So if I take us over to the app, please stop biting. I'm going to have to put you outside and you're going to bark. It's very simple. You could sit. Good boy. Lie down. No, that's a paw. Lie down, down, down. Okay, paw. You can be like this and stay there, or if you bite me, I'm going to put you outside. Okay, well, you've just decided. Come on, Harry. You've literally got a few more minutes, and then it's Harry time. Come, good boy. Come on then. Good boy. Good boy. Where'd you go? Good boy. Bye. Bye. Still lies in it. Oh my gosh. Okay. So I'm going to take you over. I'm going to take you over to that. And okay. And share our sound. So I always say we want to, with our morning ritual, open sacred space. We want to come into partnership with the universe. We want to let the universe know that we're here. We also want to make it beautifully ceremonial, ritualistic for you, because you're going to do it more. It's going to feel nice. Create a space. Have a candle. I don't use matches. I don't use lighters anymore. I use these beautiful, massive, matches, because listen to this sound. I mean, even that is, and then the lighting of make it beautiful, make it ritualistic, make it nice. Try and do it in rhythm with, remember, the solar circuit, the circuit of the sun coming up, the sun coming down, but also noon as well is a significant part of the day. If you can go into rhythm, morning, noon, and night, sun up, sun down, and in the middle, that's super powerful, coming into divine flow, right? So I always say to people with the 7x7 method, if you can't do it 7 times, start with 3 and use those times. What we start with is a little bit like a power breath, but it's like with more feeling and intention. It's like chanting like your life depends on it. You're going to sniff in through your nose with the tongue striking the roof of your mouth, like that. and draw in the navel on the sound of the h. So the chant is the hada, 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 right? And on the H, it's like you're gonna hear it and you're gonna try it, but you're gonna find your rhythm. And we do this for 5 to 11 minutes. We won't necessarily do it for that long now, but I just want you to feel it. So I'm gonna play it. Can we all hear it? Got the sound? Yeah. Squeeze your stomach on the ha, hada, 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 hada. So you're actually focusing more on the out breath of the ha, squeezes the stomach in, ha, quick sniff in with the nose, with the tongue to the roof of the mouth, and then hada. You've got to breathe in, but you're focusing on the out breath. And you basically stay in this chant. So we're all going to join in for a second. And what I do is, you know, as I'm going into my ritual, I'm already feeling into what it is that and remember, again, it's the essence, not the form. The essence of what I want, not the form of it, the essence, what it fucking feels like. And then I'm like charging up. Hada, 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 hada. And you can find different variations of the hada chant on YouTube if you prefer a different sound. They get taken down too, by the way. I've noticed a lot of the tantric stuff is up there for a while, but then disappears. So you got to find one that stays. But it's almost like every single time you chant the hada, you're actually bringing it more into reality and feeling. Okay, so that's what I mean by chanting like your life depends on it. Hada, 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 and squeezing your pelvic floor as well as you squeeze in the abdominal muscles on the H. So we do that for sort of I say 5 to 11 minutes. And then we go into a Bastrika, which is a power breath. Now, this is just, by this point, we've actually really loosened up the body. We're feeling more open because the power breath requires a lot of space in your diaphragm. So what the power breath does is creates a bellows in the diaphragm, which really starts to move. You've stirred the creative energy. You've created the sacral stir, the sexual juices, right? And then we want to start pumping them. So the Bastrika is a power breath, and we do it for 30 reps. Now with the power breath, it is, so what we want to do is imagine that we've got nostrils on the front of our belly, squeeze down the pelvic floor, fill the belly, but breathe it up into the chest, almost like a wave coming up to its peak. So I'm just going to relax. So you slow down, you focus on filling the belly first, and then for the breath to naturally come through the diaphragm and into the chest. And then the release of the breath is more of just it's automatic, it's happening anyway. And you feel it, right? You feel that bellows. You start to feel it creating the bellows in the chest. You're slowing down the breath, but actually it's more intentional. And you can play music for this as well. I do this in silence. And then I transition into what is called the Nishesha Rachaka Kumbhaka, which is a breath retention on the exhale. So after we've charged for 30 breaths, we've really moved that energy around, we're dropping into pure stillness, pure meditation.
And this is where you're going to feel, right, all this beautiful energy in your body. It's where your mind's going to start telling you that you need to breathe, but you're just literally just going to let it go. You're going to take the mind out of the body and you're going to allow yourself to drift. You're going to have so much oxygen in your body if you do the Hara chant and you do the power breath that you actually don't need to breathe in. Your mind will tell you that you need to breathe in. And there's magic that's happening in the body as we do the breath retention, right? So after we've held our breath for as long as we think we can hold our breath, we then only do a little sip in. And we keep holding. And this is where your cheeks are going to get hot. Like your body's just becoming alive. Your body's moving into freedom. You're in pure meditative bliss. Because if you just try and do a meditation, your mind talks to you for at least the first 20 minutes, right? When you do the power breath and drop into meditation like this way, you've actually got quite a deep sense of silence and peace. It's cleared the mind of all its crap. It's brought you into a resonant frequency. Your nervous system is relaxed. Your nervous system is going to move a little bit as it thinks it needs to breathe, but you just tell it, it's okay, I'm fine, I'm in trust. You allow your mind to drift. You have this beautiful, pure stillness. And then on the second urge to breathe, we transition to what is called the Antara Kumbhaka, spelt wrong, which is where we draw in the pelvic floor and all this energy that's been building in the sacrum, we breathe it up into the midbrain, and then we hold it there. And we can drop the chin to create an energy lock. So we've got two locks, one in the Mula Bandha, one up here. We can squeeze the eyebrows together, really focus on this area here. And hold our breath, and usually for a minute or so, and then let it go. I always use a chant on the exhale, and the chant is creating vibration. The different chants activate different areas of our body. What we're doing with the initial chant, the power breath, the first retention, is just waking everything up, right? Bringing us into stillness, bringing us into focus. One of the keys to sex magic is being able to meditate, because you need to have deep focus. For internal alchemy, we need three things. We need a container, which is your awareness. We need a fuel, which is your breath, your energy. And we need something to transform, which is your car. It's your energetic version of yourself, your harmonic resonance, right? So you have to be able to meditate. This kind of shortcuts you into a higher frequency, a more resonant frequency, a better container of awareness. And then we want to go into a 4x4 breath that is focusing on. So when we go deeper into the sex magic, we start to understand that we have your lunar and solar side. We have this energy that spirals and swirls, and actually you'll see it on, the pictures, the two snakes coming up through the seals of each chakra, clearing and coming up to the hood, the uraeus at the top, the cobra. And what we're doing is we're creating the energy down in the base, and then on the inhale and on the exhale, we're circulating it up. We want to use the 4x4 breath, and we're going to go through this all together. The hold in this is for about 3 minutes, but use as many sips as you need to. And I just want you to focus on the inhale as if you're just filling your entire womb area up as a woman. If you were a man, where that womb area would be, that entire base part of your body with your beautiful life force. You are connected to the earth. Allow it to draw in, right? You're drawing it up from the earth. Filling. Allow it to move, obviously, up naturally through the diaphragm like we felt in the power breath. But it is actually on the exhale, which is through the mouth, that we are using our focus and our feeling to feel the energy moving up. Those of you who are quite spiritually open, who have done some of this work before, you'll notice some of your indicators that you're channeling or connecting. That might be certain quivers in the body, certain feelings, certain opes that, you know, you'll know as you do this that they'll switch on really quickly. So we're going to do this 11-minute track. And then at the end of it, we won't do the shaking, but we usually finish with a shake. We will do a beautiful, quick breath rave. I'll stand you up on your feet, okay? So you're going to breathe with me. You're going to close your eyes. You are going to imagine that you're in your beautiful sacred space, that you've woken up your entire body. You're going to use your pelvic floor, squeeze, breathe into the belly, fill that area up with the life force energy. And then on the exhale, just imagine these spiraling snakes going through each of your chakras up to the top, right? And then always in through the nose, out through the mouth. On the breath retention, it's guided. You're going to breathe all the way in. Let it out. And in that breath retention, you're going to feel that pure meditation. You're going to feel that bliss. You're going to allow it to. As the mind and the stories come in, you trust. If you do need to take a sip, you take a sip. If you need to take another sip, you take another sip. And then you'll be encouraged to breathe all the way in and hold at the top. Okay. Everybody ready? Where's the sound? Should be able to just distantly hearing the waves. So just coming into sacred space, coming into awareness. Start to breathe.
3, 4, hands, 2, 3, 4, in, 2, 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 3, 4, hands, 2, 3, 4, in,
Picking up your breath. Breathe all the way in and out. And hold your breath. Starting to feel that energy build. Allow it to build. And when you're ready, you're going to grasp down your pelvic floor and breathe that energy up
all the way up through the spine. Feeling it move up into that midbrain, dropping the chin, squeezing the eyes. Holding your breath at the top. Go with the chant. Bringing that beautiful energy. And so what's going to happen with practice is we're going to create the sort of energy that we're going to create right now in just this very shortened version of that whole thing, which is where I just want you to feel being completely switched on, completely turned on, and how this creative power can guide you in your business and guide your frequency and guide your passion for life. So to finish, I'm going to get you up on your feet and we're going to do a standing breath. Just make sure I'm in the right place. It's really short, 3 minutes. It's one of Niraj's brand new songs, actually from Soma Breath. And what we're going to do is just breathe in and out, standing up, using our arms. So it's like the power breath, but standing. So what you're going to feel in this kind of breath rave is what we're looking to create in that morning ritual. But in the morning ritual, we need it to be spacious. We need to be creating the container. We need to be able to have the focus on the energy moving, right? So you're going to build to that. Whereas when we breath rave, we're just raising your frequency. So standing up on your feet, it's going to be in for 4, out for 4 with the music, and just using the arms, power breath, sort of breath where we're creating the bellows and noticing the change in how you feel. And I want you to enjoy this. Just enjoy the music, enjoy the movement, enjoy your breath, feel good. Wrong song. Hang on. Right song. So just connect with yourself. I'm going to start in 2, 3, 4, out, 2, 3, 4. You can make a sound. Still use the pelvic floor, please.
everybody. They're all welcome. And you might want to take your breath up to an into, out to. Into, out to. Just faster with your arms. Pump those arms. One last breath in. Hold. Breathe the tongue. Let it out. And what I want you to notice is the change of feeling in your body, right? What are people feeling in the body right now? Just a few shares that might be anything. I want you to share how you feel. Change in how you feel, good, bad. Do you feel more open? Do you feel like you're vibrating? Do you feel like your third eye's clear? Do you feel like you've got more, like what are you feeling? What has changed? You got something, Angelina or Ronnie? Don't be shy. Because the truth is, like, all of these different tools create different feelings. And what we're doing in mastery is learning to use the shift our frequency. And knowing that there are different levels, that more team, the creative energy actually takes some mastery, right? To have the container, to have the focus. We can create that higher energy, that higher frequency in a breath rave. But are we really working with the alchemy of the body deeply? Not necessarily. But music very different to what you're used to. Hang on, I'll just open so I can see the whole thing. Yes. So I use a lot of frequency music, but with my breath work, I use the that's more binaural, trinaural beats and beats too. Like, I use energy that moves me, stirs me emotionally. So as you're all here live, you're going to get access to my book and access to the Quantum Leap portal with all of those with all of those resources for 7 days. And I really encourage you to go in and have a look, and I also really encourage you to book that call, because like I say, I work on both sides, the energy and the strategy. On the call, we'll dig more into your strategy and we'll really look at your way forward, what is really possible and what are the pieces that you are missing and how can I move you faster. Oh, Angelina hasn't downloaded my book yet. So so that'll come through by email for you. You'll be able to access that. You'll be able to access the portal. You'll get an email about that as well. And what am I missing? And you'll also get an email with the link to book the call. If you want to book the call, it's completely free. It will be super powerful. I know. I had a client that started a week ago, and in the first few days, he 10x'd his social media engagement and got his business in front of an audience of 200,000 people. Yeah. So and I'm going to do the similar thing that we would do on a strategic call. I'm going to go into some depth
into what you can do to move, but also look at, will my process get you to your goals faster? And is this offer that I have coming up, is it going to be something that's going to help you, that you're going to love? And do you want to be the first to jump on it while it's in this beta place? So we'll go through all of that on the call, but there's no obligation to jump into the offer. I'm excited about it. I'm excited to share. I will share it on social media in a few days' time. But I want you to have first dibs for being here today. And I hope that today has been helpful. Does anybody want to share their biggest breakthrough or something that they've learned, or any feedback before we jump off? I've almost kept to time. I'm very excited. I usually run way over. No, all still quiet. Oh, got Ronnie maybe typing. I love that pink, by the way, on your top, Ronnie. It's beautiful. Really suits you. Oh, Monica's driving. Monica's probably got the entire, because it's like, yeah, early morning there. She's like in the full run of, oh, you've enjoyed it. That's beautiful. I'm glad you've enjoyed it. If you have any questions, just shoot me a DM and I'll pick your questions up and answer them. Things like might come through. But otherwise, I hope to see you on a call. I'll look forward to sending you your book and the access to the portal. Dig in. There's so much gold in there. And you're welcome to stay in the portal as well, although part of the offer is that you're going to get access for free in there for an entire year. So that's cool as well. But I won't share anymore. I'll look forward to speaking to you. Enjoy the rest of your afternoon. And yeah, I will go and love on my puppy.